Under the glowing lights of the Estádio do Dragão in Porto, the atmosphere was electric. The Portuguese national team prepared to face Armenia in what could be their most crucial match of the World Cup 2026 qualifiers. The stakes were clear. A win, and Portugal would secure their ticket to the tournament. A draw might still be enough, but a loss could drag them into the danger of a playoff. Fans filled every corner of the stadium, their chants echoing through the night as red and green flags waved proudly in the cool air. The energy was unmistakable. This wasn't just another qualifier, it was a night that could shape the future of Portuguese football. Portugal entered the match sitting first in their group with 10 points, leading Hungary with 8 and Ireland with 7, while Armenia trailed with just 3. It was a strong position, but the pressure was real. The heartbreak of the recent 2-0 loss to Ireland still lingered in fans' minds. That defeat had ended their unbeaten run and served as a sharp reminder that even the best can falter when focus slips. Now, back on home soil, they had one mission: win and qualify. For Armenia, sitting at the bottom of the table, this was an opportunity for pride, a chance to spoil the party for one of Europe's footballing giants and walk away with heads held high. The absence of Cristiano Ronaldo loomed large over the match. Suspended after his red card against Ireland, the Portuguese captain watched from the stands. His presence felt even in absence. Alongside him, winger Pedro Neto was sidelined with a groin injury. But for Portugal, this was an opportunity for the next generation to step up. Bruno Fernandes, Bernardo Silva, João Neves, and Gonçalo Ramos carried the responsibility on their shoulders, ready to show the world that Portugal's strength ran deeper than any one superstar. As the players lined up for kickoff, the crowd's anticipation reached its peak. The Portuguese national anthem roared across the stadium, echoing through the cold November air. Then the whistle blew and the battle began. Portugal started with confidence, dominating possession right from the first minute. Bernardo Silva and Vitinha controlled the midfield, their quick passes slicing through Armenia's defensive lines. João Neves, still young but already playing with the calm of a veteran, dictated the tempo, finding spaces and launching attacks from deep. Armenia, in white, defended in numbers, relying on counterattacks and long balls to relieve the pressure. It didn't take long for the breakthrough to come. In the 7th minute, Portugal won a free kick just outside the penalty box. Bruno Fernandes, calm and focused, stepped up to take it. The Manchester United midfielder sent a curling shot toward the top corner, forcing Armenia's goalkeeper, Henry Avegyan, into a desperate dive. He managed to get a fingertip to the ball, pushing it onto the post, but Renato Veiga was quick to react. Rising above the defenders, he headed the rebound into the back of the net. The crowd erupted. Red and green scarves spun in the air as the stadium shook with cheers. VAR briefly reviewed the play for offside, but the goal stood. Portugal led 1-0, and their fans roared even louder, sensing the night could be special. However, Armenia refused to back down. Against the run of play, they found their equalizer in the 18th minute. A well-placed cross from Grant Leon Ranos found Eduard Spertsyan unmarked in the box. The midfielder met the ball perfectly, sending a header past Diogo Costa. The away fans, small but passionate, exploded in celebration. Suddenly, the Estádio do Dragão fell silent. Portugal had been caught off guard, and the game was level. The equalizer served as a wake-up call. Portugal regrouped, with Bruno Fernandes urging his teammates forward. They responded with energy and determination, pressing harder, moving quicker, and refusing to let Armenia breathe. In the 26th minute, fortune favored Portugal once again. Or, rather, Armenia's misfortune sealed their fate. Attempting to play the ball back to his keeper, Artur Serobian underhit his pass, gifting possession straight to Gonçalo Ramos. The young striker didn't hesitate. He took a touch around the onrushing goalkeeper and calmly slotted the ball into the empty net. It was a poacher's finish, instinctive and decisive. The crowd roared once more, their nerves settling as Portugal retook the lead at 2-1. The momentum was fully theirs now. Armenia struggled to cope as the waves of Portuguese attacks kept coming. Just 10 minutes later, Bruno Fernandes picked up the ball in midfield, dancing past one defender before threading a perfect pass to João Neves. The young midfielder took a touch, glanced up, and fired a powerful strike from outside the box. The ball flew into the bottom corner, 3-1 to Portugal. The fans chanted Neves' name, the future of Portuguese football shining brightly under the floodlights. As Portugal was in full control, their rhythm was unstoppable. Armenia's defense looked exhausted, unable to handle the speed and movement of Portuguese front line. Just before halftime, João Neves struck again. This time it was a free kick, about 30 yards from goal. He curled it brilliantly over the wall, and Avagan could only watch as it dipped perfectly under the bar. The crowd went wild. Portugal, 4-1 Armenia. Neves had scored his second of the night, and with that, he had surely secured his place as one of the team's brightest stars. As if that wasn't enough, Portugal earned a penalty in stoppage time after Rafael Leao was brought down in the box. Bruno Fernandes, the captain for the night, stepped up. With ice-cold composure, he sent the keeper the wrong way and buried it in the bottom corner. 5-1 Portugal at halftime, a statement of dominance. As the players walked off the pitch, the stadium rose to its feet in applause. Portugal had delivered a first-half masterclass, silencing any doubts that lingered after their loss to Ireland. Even without Cristiano Ronaldo, they had shown balance, flair, and discipline. For head coach Roberto Martinez, it was the kind of performance that justified his trust in the younger generation. For Armenia, the first half was a painful lesson. They had moments of promise, but every mistake had been punished. When the second half began, Portugal slowed the tempo, opting to control the game rather than chase more goals. Bernardo Silva's creativity remained on display as he orchestrated possession, linking up with Bruno Fernandes and João Cancelo down the right. Gonçalo Ramos continued to threaten the Armenian back line, while Rafael Leao's bursts of speed caused chaos on the left wing. Armenia, despite being down, continued to fight. Their captain urged their teammates to push higher, to press Portugal's defense and try to claw back a goal. But every time they advanced, they were met by the brick wall that was Ruben Dias and the safe hands of Diogo Costa. As the minutes ticked away, the outcome became inevitable. Portugal was simply too strong, too organized, and too confident. The crowd began to chant again, rhythmic, loud, and full of joy. "Portugal, Portugal," echoed through the stadium as families waved flags and children on their parents' shoulders cheered with pride. In the final minutes, Portugal nearly added a sixth goal. Substitute João Felix came close with a curling effort that skimmed the post, while Vitinha rattled the crossbar from distance. Armenia's keeper, Avagan, despite conceding 5, made several heroic saves to prevent an even bigger scoreline. When the referee finally blew the whistle, the Estádio do Dragão erupted in celebration. Players embraced each other as confetti filled the air. It was official. Portugal had qualified for the World Cup 2026. Bruno Fernandes lifted his arms to the crowd, saluting the fans who had supported them through every moment. João Neves, the hero of the night, smiled wide as cameras flashed around him. His 2 goals and commanding performance had not only secured victory, but symbolized a new era for Portuguese football, one where the future looked as bright as the legends who came before. This victory meant more than qualification. It was redemption after the stumble against Ireland. It was proof that Portugal could thrive with balance, blending experience and youth, flair and discipline. Even without Ronaldo, the team had risen to the occasion with unity and hunger. For the fans, this was a night to remember. A performance that embodied passion, skill, and national pride. As fireworks lit up the sky over Porto, the crowd's songs filled the night. The players circled the pitch, applauding the fans and holding up the Portuguese flag. João Cancelo embraced his teammates. Bruno Fernandes smiled proudly as reporters gathered for post-match interviews. He said, "We knew this was a must-win game. We stayed focused, played as a team, and gave everything for our country. This is for the fans, for Portugal." For Armenia, the disappointment was clear, but so was the respect. Their players applauded the home fans as they left the field. Though defeated, they had shown spirit and fight against one of Europe's strongest sides. Their young talents like Spertsyan and Ramos left with valuable experience, ready to grow for the next campaign. As the crowd slowly began to exit the stadium, one thing was certain. This match would be remembered.